Join us for an early episode of Ominous Design. This is episode 170 here on Responsible Gaming. So insider secret, I do this pub quiz very regularly, and therefore sometimes I preemptively record on Mondays, while regularly I would do it on Tuesday. So if you ever want to see the episodes live, around 7:30 p.m. most of the time, Monday, Tuesday. Surprise! I'll post on Twitter as I start, as I just did. We're getting in. So there's a minor spoiler for the upcoming set Amonkhet. There's a new mechanic that we're gonna be playing with. You ready? Spoiler alert. Done. Gatherer, not gatherer, but the web. I'm going to look at a preview here. There's two previews. I'm not going to talk about the second one, so you do what you want. Two spoilers. Boom. Glorybringer over here is the one that features the mechanic Exert. It's a dragon. Let's look at the card. So it's a 4/4 flying haste for 5, which is pretty sweet, and you can exert it as it attacks. When you do, it deals 4 damage to target non-dragon creature and opponent control. Pretty darn sweet. Exert means the creature doesn't untap next turn. That's it. So you overuse it. You overload the dragon, which is sweet. We're gonna play with that. There is only one card using Exert so far, and yet I am ready and willing to take it to crazy extenses. We're gonna use the Exert mechanic to do some funky stuff. I think I want to play with the fact that the creature doesn't untap. So how do we do that? Well, we do that by one of the things that I think would be interesting is cross over this mechanic with a card that I'm going to be sneakily copying here so that you can't see it. This. We're going to do something like, you ready? This. Well, okay, so we're not going to do exactly that. We're going to do target creature. I don't think I care about the power. For target creature. Actually, it's a little bit weird. Maybe that's not what I want to do. No. So I had a whole little bit of an idea in my head. I would do a creature that would just, I don't know, like 4 or 5, whatever, and you would steal somebody by exerting itself when it attacks, and then you would, and the funny bit would be that the creature is exerted, and it wouldn't untap. Therefore, you would keep the creature under your control. I can maybe still decide to do this, but there is something that I really dislike in this design, is that I don't want to have to attack to steal a creature from my opponent. That feels weird. That feels super weird. I would need to have a flyer for the most part, which now I'm just picking up on the fact that Exert is going to be weird in the sense that you need your creature to survive. I guess you don't need it to survive. The downside of Exert doesn't exist anymore if the creature dies, but still, it's a mechanic that needs you to attack. So usually you want also to survive. In the case of stealing your creature, you absolutely want your creature to survive. So now we find ourselves trying to create a flyer that gains control of a target creature for a turn, and it's pretty funky design, you know? Like, it could be some sort of fairy, some sort of imp, sort of sphinx thingy. Well, mechanically wise, it's definitely weird. Flavor wise, you can always try to figure out something. So the card would be this. You may exert as it attacks. So you may exert as it attacks. If you do you may exert as it attacks when you do it. No. Why not? When you do. Still kind of cool, I guess. So that makes a creature that attacks once steal a creature. Actually, stealing a creature is also still kind of weird because it's too late to attack with that creature. So you attack, you steal something. Next turn you have that thing. You can attack with that thing. You can use it once. Then you untap, and you can do it again. So attack, turn 1 attack, turn 2 use that thing that you stole, turn 3 attack again and steal something, but you'll use it the turn after. So you basically always own something, but one turn it has non-summoning sickness. The next turn you can pick something else, but it has summoning sickness. So virtually you can switch your target of the thing you steal every second turn, but also the thing you steal you can ever only use every second turn. Weird. Pretty weird. Pretty freaking weird. Is it weird cool? Is it weird interesting? I'm not sure. Honestly, I think I'm gonna go back to something simpler that is not gonna play with the fact that the creature is tapped or not. I'm gonna go back to making a, let's say it's this, and it says you may exert as it attacks. When you do, gain control of target creature. Oh shit, that's really unfortunate. I wanted to make a threaten effect, but like I said before, the problem is you cannot attack with a creature that you stole because it's too late to declare attackers. You already attacked. So I'm gonna do something. How about I do something very different? How about I do something very different? How about I do an ability? I don't know that it's a thing that I want to exist, because I think Exert is nice as a attack mechanic, but let's just pretend it's fine to have a tap mechanic. So actually, I don't know how you would template that. I wanted to do something like this. Yeah, that's... So I would write something like this. Add green to your mana pool. Then you may exert whatever. And I don't know... Let's just say when you do, I suppose. I don't know if they say another or additional. I'm not sure. I forgot the... Oh, there you go. Control M, I suppose, is the shortcut. Add to your mana pool, then you may exert Griffin. No. I don't know if the template should be a when you do here. I didn't understand why it was the first time around, and I'm not seeing something being particularly different this time. So when you do, add another green to your mana pool. Whatever, an additional, or just add green to your mana pool. So this is probably fine. This seems like it will work. It's probably like a green elf shaman. Or I don't know if the elves are elf druid, elf shaman, elf something. Whatever. Elf wizard. Exploring the mechanic. I think it's something that could exist. Like I said, so far I'm kind of leaning towards I like Exert to be a attack mechanic, but I could very be convinced that that he works on abilities. So we tried. That's I think that's kind of interesting. I like it like that. Nothing much more to say about it though, but I think you could definitely make, if you go down that route, you can make a lot of creatures that have abilities that are like deal 2 damage, or exert and deal 3. I don't know how you word that, or deal an additional 1, and a creature that gives -1, and if you exert it destroys, or I don't know, like you can do anything. You can just make an overloaded ability that lasts 2 turns basically, and that's kind of cool. It's risk-free as oppositely Jesus tonight to the attack mechanic. The attack, you need to attack and survive. This one you just tap and you basically borrow ability power from your next turn. So it's actually very powerful because there's not exactly a downside. There's still a downside because you can use it next turn, but this ramps you to 5 on turn 3. Right, if you make you drop, or you land drop, turn 3 you put a 3rd land and you add 2 mana. That's kind of nuts. I assume there are things that do that, but are they? I don't know. Maybe that's kind of powerful actually. I don't know how you would flip that. You could try and do something like add only 1 to begin with, but that's kind of weird looking. And it doesn't quite fix it either. It just tunes it down a tiny little bit. So that might actually be a little too powerful on the on the speed of mana making. Mana makers for 3 though are pretty terrible. I don't know. You might tell me that this is way too good to have 5 mana on turn 3. This is what happens when you drop 2 mana elves in a row, right? Or actually you probably have more than that. Turn 3 you have 5 mana. You have your 3rd land and your 2 mana elves, so you have 5 mana, except this wasn't able, you got enabled to do that with only 1 card. Yeah, so maybe it's too good, I don't know. Make it too green to be kind of funky about it, I don't know. I think it's very well possible that it's too powerful. I think it is. I think it straight up is. 5 mana, turn 3 for only 1 card that enables you to do that is kind of nuts. But like I say, I just really don't want to make a 3 CMC mana maker. That sounds pretty darn boring. So as I've been doing recently, I'm just gonna leave it to the scholars of magic design to try and figure out if there is a balance that we can put in there, and maybe it turns out that this can only live in a big mana maker that costs 3 and makes either 1 or 3 or 2 or 4 or God knows. Obviously it's more aesthetically pleasing if we can make it into a lean little mana dork, but who freaking knows. Not to me, not now. This is what I will present to you, and we're gonna move on to. So I have some sort of an idea for a second design. I think I would like something like this. So you may exert mana as it attacks when you do something. So I would like to do something kind of weird and tricky that would be something like this. It would be a white creature something in white. It would probably be sort of big, but we are definitely going to revisit that when we know exactly what we're doing. And you can exert it to have an effect, and then you would have something like that might be a little much, but that's something like this against vigilance until enough time. So I think I would love that you could get something great when you exert, but also you can maybe manage to keep your guy untapped even though you exerted, to kind of nullify the downside, therefore going off, as the kids say. How exactly? Do not know. Well, there is one thing. Can we expand to creatures the idea that they, the Planeswalker ability that says this guy does something until end of next turn? Let's have a look actually. So we're gonna go to Gatherer, and we're gonna do, hopefully that's not too vague, until end of next turn. So first, if I do this, what do I get? I'm gonna get the Planeswalkers. Shavassin is a trigger kind of weird thing. I get some rebound. Berserk. I'm gonna look at the set symbols to see if something is recent. That's too vague, isn't it? So get some Planeswalkers, creatures, Shapeshifter. Nothing that recent so far. This is the Planeswalker until end of next turn. Until your next turn. Okay, we'll try that. So we're gonna go back here, and we're gonna really until your, and we're gonna limit it to creatures. I wanna see what it gives us. Dash, no. Detain is inside the mechanic. You have the next turn, detain. You make goad. Sacrifice it next end step. Next turn. So detain. Goblin Rectear. When it is attacked, you make good attack. Goad. Until your next turn, target player to deal damage by Hope Gipper can cast non-creature spells. It exists, the Hope of Gipper, which is very recent. So they kind of started extending this template every so often. Very rare, obviously. That's probably conspiracy, is it? Oh no, it's a Commander 2016. Okay, cool. Until your next turn, obviously Reflector Mage. Okay, sure. Alright, whatever. So, what if we do something like, when you do, it gains double strike until your next turn. Do you like that? Do you like that? I don't think, even though it's great, I don't think it needs to cost that much. We're gonna lower the stats, I think. So let's say, for example, 3 double strike is already kind of, no, what if we make it low to the ground? So in Magic, pretty often you can get a one white 2/2 double strike with an upside of couple of them give double strike to somebody else, couple of them have like protection against some colors, they might have like vigilance, etc. Lifelink, I don't know, I'm not thinking of one in particular, but our guy over here will, I don't know, do you pay 1 and a white for vigilance? It's maybe too good, but I don't love the idea that, oh is it okay? A white, a 2/2 vigilance. So a 2/2, either a 2/2 double strike, but it doesn't untap, or a 2/2 vigilance double strike, but it costs you 2 white every time you want to attack with it. Man, it's hard to tell. I don't know. It's another one of those balancing issues. I think at white we're too cheap because it's still a 2/2 vigilance double strike, which is kind of a pain to be always attacking. Well, it depends. Then it's not so big either. And I don't think 3/3 double strikes are very common because they get out of hand. Oh, sorry. 3/3 double strikes just get out of hand. So maybe this is okay. Maybe I'm willing to have people tell me this is too good, and just go down from there. I think I'm happy having this as my base. It feels like it might be powerful, but I don't know. I definitely feel like it's a very fun twist on the exert mechanic. So we've been pretty efficient. There will not be a bonus tonight because I still have a bunch of things to do and I still need to find some flavor for those guys. But exert mechanic, pretty fun, I think. There's a couple things we can do with that. I'm getting the feeling what they're gonna do is just give you an ability and tells you, okay, you don't untap next turn because that was a good ability. I don't think they're gonna go crazy with it, but what do I know? We'll see. We'll see soon. These days, probably this weekend has been the first set, or maybe even today, Monday, the first couple of cards that have been spoiled. A million of them are incoming very, very soon. So if you like spoilers, just stay tuned and we'll see a lot more. Perhaps next week we'll investigate the other mechanics. Who knows? What I know is tomorrow is off, I suppose, because that's when I usually stream. The day after, we are posting on all the regular outlets, so do check out Twitter, Facebook. The YouTube video will be up probably either tonight or tomorrow, and go check out the post in Reddit Custom Magic. There'll be a link to the article and the Imgur gallery, so everything is in there. You get some more details inside of how I made the card over there in the descriptions. What can I say? This is episode 170. We're kind of nearing the 200s. Still have, 30 is almost a year, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. But good stuff. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time for, I don't know, 171. We'll see what next week will bring us. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Play responsibly.